guys, welcome back to part 2 of our engine build. So make sure, one of my tips here is make sure you order all your parts. And I'm going to explain where my mistake is. And hopefully you guys will learn from my mistake. I thought I ordered piston rings and I didn't. And so going through my boxes this morning, I'm like, where is it? And I didn't have them. So with that being said, I had to go to Dodge and pay a ridiculous amount at the dealership to get piston rings. So please make sure you have all your parts ordered one time. I thought I did order it, and it turns out I didn't. So what we're going through, I'm opening up. So from Dodge itself, and I called around, and luckily there was a dealer half an hour from where I live. They said they have it in stock, and I was happy. And I went down there. It was half hour there, half hour back, so just wasted an hour, not wasted, but more or less spent an hour of my day driving to go get piston rings because I thought I ordered them, and it turns out I didn't. These are green, okay. For a second there, I was a little worried. I was like, whoa. Thought each one of these was a set, but they're a set of rings. As you can see, there's my sandwich rings. I'll go with that. This and this is a different thickness. I'm assuming this is my middle ring, this is my top ring, but the way we could figure this out is if you look at the old pistons. I'll just grab one. Okay, so it looks like the thin one. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you'll see here on this piston, there's this one that's just completely smooth, and then you have, which would be this one right here. Okay, and then the second piston on the ring, this back. Here we are. Second piston on the ring has this little piece here that faces down. So that would be this piston, this ring right here. See, it's got a little edge to it. That edge faces down. And then last but not least, you have these two where you have to make a sandwich for the third ring. So we're gonna get started. I have brand new set of these. So first we'll do the rings, and then we will do the and then we'll take care of putting the bearings and all that stuff in. So let's see. 2. This is kind of cool because I got these pistons nice and clean. And he oiled them up, looks like. A little bit of oil in there. He took care of me really well, so I definitely will recommend this machine shop, so I'm going to give a shout out to them. It's called Derek's Machine Shop. It's in New York. Not New York City, but New York. And he does wonderful work, and he's very reasonably priced. And like I said, I pay most of my stuff in cash, because then I don't pay the tax. Okay, that makes sense. Now, if you want to go through and do the whole feeler gauge and measuring everything, that's all fine. These are OEM rings, so I'm gonna leave my ring gap location up so I know which way I got to do it. Well, I'm guessing that when they show me the picture, they mean that this is facing this way. Obviously, in the in the cylinder block, it's going to be like this. So with the piston ring like this, I'm going to remember to keep it like this, and we're going to install the rings as they show to us. So the way they did this is one oil ring thing, and they have a bottom piece. So they sandwiched the middle. So this is what they would call your oil ring pieces. So it's this piece, then it's this piece on top, and then this piece. That's how that goes. So you make a sandwich out of it, and this is the bottom ring, the very bottom ring. To me, it would be easier just to install a ring, then the expander, and then the ring again. So, this being said, it has to be in the 2 and 4 positions. So that would be 2 o'clock. See why they want me to put this one first. You have to put this one first because there are tiny ridges here it. You can't put the actual ring on first, and then I was thinking it. That makes sense. So first, this is going to go. And we'll position this at 1 o'clock. That's the 1 o'clock. Then there's the what you want to do is try to really get it where they're already in the position of that's 1 o'clock. That's the 2 o'clock. And another one goes. I'm going to put this at the 4 o'clock. This is the that's the 2 o'clock. 4 o'clock is this way. Well, 4 o'clock is already facing this way. Alright, and then install the second ring compressor so the ring gap is located in position 5. Position 5 is this way. Be very careful with these because you can snap them. That's the 5 o'clock. This one is your top one, which is going to be the 1 o'clock position. Yeah, as the first ring that we put on. So there we have it. So you have one of I keep saying 5 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Don't listen to the o'clock. It's just in my head. I'm just following what they said. So the number five position, I'm going to try to eliminate the o'clock. I keep saying it. So 5 o'clock here, 5 o'clock. 5 positions here. Which is opposite the number 2, which is here. Then okay, 5 o'clock and 4 o'clock position should be the same. That would be 2 o'clock there. Right, and then the 1 o'clock, the 1 position. One position's here. So, Piston's going on like this. 1 position's here, 2 positions here, 4 positions here, and then the 5 position is opposite the 2. So 1 and 4 are opposite, 2 and 5 are opposite. Alright? You want to try to just get it where it's set in that position, so you're not doing what I just did. Alright? But that's pretty much how you do it. Like I said, be careful. These may be new rings, but that doesn't mean they can't break. So definitely don't want to break anything while putting these together. Alright? And that's have all 8 pistons. I'm going to show you something. Right? Try in the video when it was fast forwarding. You'll notice me searching around. I was missing one of the oiling rings, the ones that's rigid. I guess they just didn't have. I guess it miscounted in the packet. Not a big deal. It's just one. So I took it off one of my old pistons very carefully, and I put it on. It's not, I don't think it's that big of a deal. One of the things they tell you, I'm going to show you, is this one. If you get the Mopar ones, the orange one is your second ring. You have to make sure that on the second ring, the dot, there's a dot here. I know you might not be able to see it, but there's a dot here on this ring, and it has to face up, top of the piston. Alright? That's one of the things they stress in this. So, with that being said, let's get on to putting these pistons in the engine. Alright guys, so I've rotated the engine a bit sideways, and what I'm doing is I'm, with the clean glove in my hand, I am covering each cylinder wall with oil, and then I'm going to fill a pot with oil and get the piston rings and top soaked, and then start inserting them one by one. I do have a piston ring compressor, so that's what I'm doing right now. Trying to find a good spot to mount you guys. I'm just kind of using my hand, pouring it in a little bit. Making sure the oil gets everywhere. Watch your fingers. The stuff, the bottom of the cylinders are sharp. I did wipe each cylinder down. Okay. Now I'm not using synthetic, it's just regular oil. It's going to help the piston rings seat properly. There we go. Finally. Sheesh. I'll torque everything down one time. Reset. Alright, that's one piston down, a bunch more to go. So when you guys come back, we'll be torquing everything down. And whatnot. So as you see, I honestly I'd buy the other piston compressor, the one that has an Allen key, and it's cylinder shape, because that one you can tighten down a whole lot. This I'm really trying to squeeze and do everything at the same time, and it's also a little difficult with having the bearings installed. As you can see, they come out, so pain in the butt. Alright, with that being said, I don't know if you can see it, one's there. There's an arrow there at the top of the piston. Let's see if this one has it. Right here. There's an arrow. See that arrow? There it is. So they're there. I guess you just gotta really look for it. So I'll do the next set of pistons and torque them, and next and torque them, and next and torque them, and then we'll be ready to move on. Hey guys, so essentially I just want to touch up on something. Get yourself a really good piston compressor. The one I was using just, it absolutely sucks. That's what you get from when you buy Amazon. It's like the cheap Chinese knockoff stuff. You know, it's not worth it. It was good for about 4 pistons, and then it just stopped working altogether, so I'm returning that. Went to AutoZone, picked this up for 20 bucks. It's semi-decent, but I actually want to look at a really good piston ring compressor, because honestly, I did this really tight, and the last piston was just giving me issues about going in, so I want to see something that's really going to be really good. But this finished the job for me, so we're at the point where I got the last piston in. I'm just putting on the caps. Now we're going to torque. I'll torque them down. Push. Alright, and I'll just give it a couple of taps with the hammer so it sits in firmly. There we go. And I did put some assembly lube on it. Just trying to think of the name. Okay, now we'll got a torque wrench, 21 foot-pounds. I mean, 21 inch-pounds. Sorry. Okay. Alright, and then it's 90 degrees on top of that. So It makes me a little bit nervous just because these feel like they shouldn't do 90, but they're 90. It's 90 on it. So alright, I want to rotate and I just have to do these. Okay. Rubber bolts. There we go. Use a little bit of oil, will help. Using so set our thing to Newton meters. Start with number 1 over here. One, 2 is at the very bottom here. Oh, 13. So 1, 2, 3 is the top one over here. 4 is over here. And last one, at least 5 is over here. Okay, that takes care of the rear main seal. Here's our oil filter adapter housing. I don't have any kind of torque spec for it. It doesn't pull it up. And doesn't pull it up on all data, so that's what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of light so you can see what I'm doing. One of the things I need to do, alright, you gotta rotate this crankshaft so the piston's at top dead center. There we go. Alright. Brand new timing chain. Brand new, what you call it? Chain tensioner guide. I'm going to reuse the cam phaser. Alright. This has to be bottom. This dot here has to be on the facing 6 o'clock, and the dot here on the cam has to be facing 12 o'clock. One of the things I need to do is remove this bolt. Piston has to be top dead center. What would be nice is if they actually gave you a mark where you could line up this key, the keyway with, and then I would tell you, okay, that's top dead center. Here it's I got as close as possible before it goes back to the downstroke. Now, lucky for me, the cam is in the right spot. So I'm going to remove this. Now you're going to find the two, which this makes it easy actually. This chain, they color coded the links where it's supposed to be. So this is your one for your cam at the bottom here, and then you got the two up here. Now the dot on the cam has to be between has to be exactly between the two up here. Okay, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but the dot on this has to be between these two right here. So that's lined up there. And now we'll do the crank. The crank has to be on the put our cam bolt in. It's finger tight. Alright, so between the top there and we have the bottom here. Now I need to put the tensioner in order to keep the tension. So I'm going to keep that there. I'm going to put the guide in. These are 10s. Okay. The timing chain tensioner in. Don't worry, I'll give you a close-up of exactly what it's supposed to be. So put these in. Okay, and then I'll give you the torque spec in a second, but I just want to show you where we're at before I pull the pin. So you can see up here that the two blue, or whatever you want to call it, off blue, there's a dot right there. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's kind of hidden down a little further. I wish I would have made it more defined right about here, but that's supposed to be between these two. Okay, and then here you have a dot on this one, and that's supposed to be on that on that one there. There's a dot there. Alright, so now everything's nice and tight. This is in, that's in. Now I'll just pull the pin. Voila. Hey guys, so we left off yesterday. We were going to do timing. My day just got a little busy and put it off till today, but there are a million videos on YouTube on timing this motor and all data. Everybody says the same thing. The cam needs to be at 12 o'clock, alright? And the crank has to be at 6 o'clock. And that's the only thing that matters. I will post a link to a YouTube video that will explain what I'm about to say, but a little better. These, according to a guy I watched, these marks don't mean anything, honestly. I watched him put the whole thing together without lining up the timing marks at all. The timing is really in the cam being at 12 o'clock and the crank being at 6 o'clock. That's really the timing. The change just there to make sure everything stays in sync. You can rotate this engine. The timing marks will not line up till a certain amount of revolutions or ever. So, with that being said, everything is set. This is the whole timing chain kit with the tensioners and the bracket over here is from Coyotes. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. So as you can see at the bottom, I have the blue mark on the dot, and then up here I have the two blue marks, and the dot is in between the two blue links. So that's time. Now that's really straightforward. That's it. I was used to you should do like 2 revolutions and it should come back on timing. Quite a bit of people on my forum say that you could do the revolutions and that the cam should be at 12 o'clock and the crank should be at 6 o'clock when you're done, and it's still in time. These will never, these colored links won't line up with this, and that's what everybody has said, and the guy in the YouTube video also explained the same thing. So like I said, there's a million videos out there that'll show you how to do it. This is fairly straightforward and easy. 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, put your chain on, make sure everything lines up, slide it in, put your cam bolt in, drop all this stuff in. Don't forget to unlock your pin, and now we're going to move on to torquing it. So these are 13 Newton meters, or 10 foot-pounds, I believe. And then I'll torque this down, and then we'll put on the oil pump and move on with our day. So okay, this one. Move over here. And then this one over here. Alright, there you have it, timed, torqued. Now we'll move on with our oil pump and torquing this cam bolt. Alright, so our cam phaser bolt is 98 Newton meters or 72 foot-pounds. I'm going to try to hold. I'm going to need to hold this in order to get it. What we're going to do is we're going to now put on the oil pump. This is the Mellings high volume oil pump. You gotta play around with it a little bit. There we go. Just kind of line everything up. Alright, now we'll get the torque spread. Oil pump bolts are 21 foot-pounds or 28 newton meters. Alright guys, so it's 21 foot-pounds or 28 newton meters. So, and there's a torque sequence. So number 1's here. Cross, number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how the pattern goes. Alright? So we have that set. And now we're ready to put our front timing cover on. Hey guys, I wanted to touch up on something before we put the cover on. With the high volume oil pump, they send you the O-ring for the pickup tube, and they send you this white spring, alright? And they do give you instructions on what the white spring is for, and the white spring is for when you have the Hellcat application, you have to remove the blue spring that's in the oil pump, and then you insert the white spring, because it gives it a higher, gives it extra, about approximately 10 more psi. But you want to keep the blue spring because you want it for the 5.7 and the 6.4. The 6.2 with the Hellcat is going to be using the white spring. And if you put the white spring in thinking like, oh man, you know, a little extra 10 psi on this, it's going to result in probably an engine light coming on pretty soon. So just as a heads up. Alright, we got a new oil pump, new water pump seal on. I do have different size bolts, but I can pretty much figure out when most. Alright, torque to 21 foot-pounds. There's no torque sequence, so just kind of gonna go random. I feel like I'm missing some bolts, but for the most part I had everything here. So I know this is the alternator here, I think on this side. Right, AC compressors here, alternator was this side. So now we can put on our water pump. We'll check our gas gun removal on our water pump. Install our water pump. Just changed out the gasket. Okay. Oil seal in the front. I bought the Mopar tool to do it, but I think obviously when it's really super stuck, and I might have been doing it wrong, it doesn't really want to work. But I'll show you the tool. Here it is. I believe you got to kind of twist this in, you know, and keep twisting it till it screws all the way in. And once you get that, once you get it down to the end, you start pushing this in, which will bring out another piece here that you see coming up. And that's supposed to just push it and then pull the whole seal out. But in my case, the seal was very stuck and it was just ripping the rubber apart. So I just used a hammer and a screwdriver and popped it out. What I'm going to do now is take a little steel wool and brake clean and a rag. I'm just going to clean up the interior of this. Alright. Alright, and I do have the seal installer also. I have the seal installer here. Okay. This will screw all the way down. And do I honestly know how to use this? No, I'm going to figure it out as I'm going along. Then here's the piece that goes over. Voila, seal installed. Alright. So it's nice having that seal installer. It is a Mopar tool. I picked it up off of eBay. Actually, you can get yours. Let's see, what else can I do? I think we're pretty much ready to put the flywheel back. I mean, the flywheel back on. I know I pulled the crank off and the pulley off in the car. Oh, oil pan. How silly of me. We're ready to put our oil pan back on. So, let me prep for that. Alright guys, so I just want to show you something real quick. Oil pan gasket. This oil pan on this Durango is plastic, I want to say. It's got the built-in baffle with the built-in pickup tube here. So with that being said, replace the O-ring, and once you start popping this gasket out, these bolts are gonna fall out. So you gotta pop them out and then make sure you catch the bolts. See, they'll just come right out. So try to keep everything together. All the bolts are the same. There's not one that's different from the other. And you can't reuse this gasket, just so you guys know. The front bolts are separate. These front bolts are separate. They're not part of the gasket. You don't have to worry about that. No gasket on the way. And the new gasket. gasket here. The gasket that was sent with me with the whole engine kit that I did order was the wrong gasket, but it worked out in my favor because it's the gasket I need for the monster truck. So I'm not too worried. It's not like I wasted money. I'm actually going to be reusing a lot of the. I'll be able to reuse some of the gaskets and stuff that for the monster truck that won't work on this vehicle. Okay, we got that in. Now I'll start putting the bolts back in. Then I have to make sure it seats around this piece here. Just take your time. You don't need to. Alright. According to all data, it wants you to place a bead of RTV here, 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 and here for sealing purposes. Once we apply to the T-joints, they call these the T-joints here. So I don't know, maybe you guys. That's there. Now we can drop. Okay, we're torquing this down to 12 Newton meters or 9 foot-pounds. So we're already set for 12, and we're going to continue the same pattern. Let's start this again. All right. Two. Three is extra one. Four is next to two. Five is here. I did this wrong. Hold on, I'm sorry. I did two, then I did one. So this is, it's okay, it doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 5. Seven's back here. Eight is opposite. Nine is here. 10 is opposite. 11 is back here. 12 here. 13, 14, 15 in the back, 16 opposite corner, 17 opposite, 18 opposite corner, 19 up front, 20 is the center in the back, 21 up front. Alright, just torqued and ready to go. Alright, now we can put on the flywheel and torque that down and get it ready to drop back into the engine. So, we'll be right back. Hey guys, so We got it off the engine stand. I got the flywheel on. I'm going to show you real quick what I did. I just grabbed, there's my torque wrench. I already torqued it down. But the easiest way to do it is, if you got it up in the air, just slip it in. Slip in the pry bar right here. Wedge it against the bolt for the rear main seal. And then, you know, obviously hold it and then torque the other way. I zipped them on, and I also put Loctite. And I zipped them on using my 3/8 impact. But that got it down to a little more than torque, so I'm good there. Everything's on. We got this little plate, flex plate on here. Okay. Stay tuned for part 3. You know, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe. This is the end of part 2. We've got major of the engine assembled. Now we're going to drop it in. Part 3 is going to be dropping it in. All right, stay tuned, guys.